Hi, my name's Robin Elander with Global Good Impact, and I'm here with Jana Brody, who is the current Public Outreach Director and Artist in Residence Program Director at the Squire Foundation. She also has a master's in art administration and a bachelor's in communication. She is also she just became the current Santa Barbara County Arts Commission for the second district. And I'm so excited to have Jana here with us to share a little bit about her background. Welcome. How are you?
Hi, Robin. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So you're involved with quite a number of things, and I wanted to just learn a little bit about your background and what brought you to be involved with particularly the Squire Foundation and some of the other amazing things that you're doing.
Well, coming to Santa Barbara after 10 years, I was here as an undergrad student, and then I left and got married and had the good fortune to come back to town. So that was pretty amazing, and it just grew leaps and bounds. And I was with an arts administration background. It's also / nonprofit, arts and management.
Okay.
So I got involved in our nonprofit communications and different programs that way, and then slowly found my way to the Squire Foundation, which is a amazing arts empowerment foundation here in town. So what we do is we empower artists, curators, creatives from the ground up. So it's not just visual artists, it's the arts. So we've worked with poets, we've worked with, painters, we've worked with writers, dancers, actors. And the best way to describe it is just sharing, resources, time, and space, because we do offer a space that was donated by our founder. And it's pretty exciting to have an actual facility that artists and residents could come and stay and make an impact in Santa Barbara. And our goal is to bring in people who Santa Barbara wouldn't interact with otherwise. We are trying to break the stigma of being the plein air capital of the world in the arts. And we want to, step it up. Santa Barbara is right in between San Francisco and Los Angeles. So we are contemporary art form as well. And so that's just one slice of it. We work with education programming in the schools and in the at-risk programming for art education. One of our things is as an outreach programmer is we do a lot of work in North County, which would be an hour or so north of Santa Barbara. We've worked with Guadalupe intensively, New Coyama, Santa Maria. We currently have public art in the south of Santa Barbara down to Oxnard. And so that's the outreach piece, is trying to get into communities that don't have a lot of art otherwise. So again, boosting the Santa Barbara art community and just empowering people to become involved with the arts, as well as reaching out to communities where it may not be as popular.
That's incredible. I didn't realize that the foundation had quite that large of a reach. That is wonderful. And that facility there is really quite stellar. What a community resource.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty special, and it's the executive director's home, and she can invite in whoever, is appropriate. Usually our cycles are March and October, and we have an online submission form that people can submit. And again, we get international artists coming from all over the world as well, as well as local people. So it started pretty simply 5 or 6 years ago, and we were just hosting people in the community, like the Santa Barbara Symphony guest conductors. They approached us saying, the hotels in Santa Barbara are just out of reach for a nonprofit, and we have conductors coming at all times of the year. And again, that would be an example of sharing the space by saying, oh, well, we can offer, as a donation or a grant or a resource need, space for these guest conductors to stay. So that's how it kind of started in its initiation. And then other people found out about it, and then our brains were like, oh, we can fit more than one guest conductor, and maybe while the guest conductor is here, you can go into the schools, and maybe then we can have a workshop. And then me as a program director started doing more outreach and reaching out to communities who might be having guest artists in town, and how we can get them into the community more. And one of the neat things about Santa Barbara is we are very open to collaboration. We as a nonprofit whole. Some towns, you get so pigeonholed, or maybe it's such a big community that it's too hard to reach other nonprofits. But here, there's, I think we have more nonprofits per capita than a lot of.
That's what I hear. I hear it's the most nonprofits in the world. I don't know if that's totally true, but
it's a little bit, it's pretty extreme. So everybody's finally got into the mindset where we can share resources, where it's not a competition. And so, especially like I said, that's one of them. The space is huge. So it just opened the door to a lot of wonderful things. And then because we have connections in the schools, or because we have connections at the Boys and Girls Club or North County, then we can, plug these people in that are here anyways, doing good things for what they're doing, but maybe they have an extra day. And so we try to expose these community nonprofit leaders to as many people as possible.
So with the type of artists that you're hosting and the type of collaborations that you're creating, is it mostly around visual art, or is it, you mentioned at one point there was some musicians there. Can you talk a little bit about the focus of who you're hosting and kind of how you make that decision?
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's pretty much empowering creative individuals. So it's definitely not a art or arts related. I mean, most of those people are in the arts. But again, we've had writers, we've had poets, we've had visual artists, we've had actors, we've had curators come, we've had professors in the arts, or professors in other communities. We've worked directly with the universities on their scientists, and we have partnerships with science communities where we're really growing that initiation of this, moving things from the STEM education to the STEAM education, adding the arts to that science, technology, math program.
Love that.
Yeah, so we are working with UCSB quite a bit. We're working with Santa Barbara City College. We're working with Westmont, and also NC's, which is a local think tank in town that's totally amazing. And because of working with the County of Santa Barbara Arts Commission, they had a forum, and I met the director of this science community, and he started his own artist in residence program in his science community. So that was just amazing. And so things just evolve. And again, it could just be someone at a corporate environment that wants to have an artist in residence program. I mean, Google does it. Why can't a local nonprofit do it? Or even a for-profit company. Try to impose arts in every, community that we can. And that's one of the bonuses of being also on the Santa Barbara Arts Commission, is I can work with, we can work with the Parks and Rec Department. We can work with the Goleta Community Center. We can do, bring in programming in other places that's community-based, not just corporate or nonprofit.
Incredible. That is so many groups that you are working with, influencing, and supporting. And that is a very large reach. And I know that how old is this organization, particular Squire, that you've been working with?
Well, the Squire Foundation was initiated in approximately 1990. Wait, what am I saying? 2014.
Okay.
And Morris Squire actually passed away. So, but before that, it was in another form, what's called the Forest Foundation, for as long as he was alive and doing his philanthropy work. Okay. So after his passing in 2014, the name changed, the executive director shifted to Ashley Hollister, and then I came on board as program and outreach director, and then we've just been moving forward that way. in a new form in his absence. So again, he did donate his villa to the foundation and not his family, and that was for a specific reason, was to create like an art sanctuary in the community, a place.
What a legacy. That's such
Yeah, it's pretty special. It's pretty special. And, it's tricky because, it's in a residential place. So we are zoned, to have things through the executive director's home. So it's her space, and she can invite people in, and that's how we do it. And it's a sanctuary, and it's relaxing, it's fun, but it's also large enough that we can have more than one artist at a time, 3 to 5 sometimes, and then it becomes a community interactive space where the actors is sitting next to the photographer and the writer, and they combine their resources, and it's just gets amplified from there.
Wow, I love this. I'm curious if you could just share. You've also been a project manager for a number of different things outside of this. I believe you also have a consulting business. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I do work for the foundation half-time, so I do have time for contract work for other nonprofits.
Okay.
And sometimes I'm just contracted through the Squire Foundation. Again, we do have resources, so I myself am contracted out as a resource.
Gotcha.
So for one example is I've worked for Arts Without Limits, which is a local arts mentoring program in town, and they have a very small staffing and board, and so they were at a critical juncture, and they needed a board member to hold a quorum and move forward on some art programming. So I worked with them as a 6 months board member and helped develop that for them. I've worked with different people stepping in and helping writing marketing materials. I've come in, worked with again, the Galita Valley Community Center had said that they do not have enough children's summer programming. So I came in and helped set up we made upcycle art days. We had 3 free days where we partnered with Art from Scrap, and we partnered with the Squire Foundation, and we partnered with Farmers Merchant Bank, and we brought in art materials and had them volunteers run it from, let's say, 9:30 to 12, and kids came in and created art from recycled materials and took their art home. So again, that's a very hands-on piece, but I love doing that as well. I am an artist myself, and so that just adds another hat that I can wear and be an art facilitator.
Love this. You're such a maverick. I love just the Renaissance woman that we're talking to right now.
Yeah. Well, Santa Barbara is a diverse community, and there's a lot of different needs. And as I was telling you earlier, it's a smaller town with a big town feel.
Right.
So you can really dive in and get involved and find out where the needs are. That's my goal as an art, or even a nonprofit administrator. Find out what the needs are in the town and help fill them, and just cross. That's the love I have of networking as a development person. Development is not always about money. It's about developing resources and developing networks and developing relationships with people in town. So that's my forte. Is I know Robin. She's working on the Solstice Parade this year, or I know she's working on a mosaic issue. Let's get some artists involved. So whoever initiative is happening at the time, because as we all know, we all wear many hats. We just can bring each other together and work with each other in the most effective way. So that's what I'm happy. Yeah,
that's absolutely what this course is about, to let you know about the resources, all of that stuff. So with your vast experience and, managing these projects as well as working kind of on the foundation side, what advice or insights would you have as people are trying to grow their projects, maybe grow potential funding or relationships for resources? What would you advise people? A couple things that you've learned along the way.
Well, I just would suggest, putting yourself out there, Googling everything you can in your town, and then making calls. I mean, everybody said right out of college, for me, as I was a communication student and then the arts management, it's really boils all the way down to sales. Like, you just have to cold call people. You have to Google, you have to email. Email's a lot easier now, but you just reach out and say, here's what I'm doing. What are you doing? Can we meet for coffee? It's always about asking for advice, putting it on the other person. You did it to me. It was so flattering. Oh, Jana, I know you're a expert in the field. Can I ask you a few questions? So people love that. I'm like, oh, how fabulous. And
yay, it worked.
Yeah. So if people, if this course is the catalyst, even the title of it, working with experts in the field, just call people. And then I did learn, if you have a stumbling block, even when I was first trying to, break into nonprofit and foundation work, is that people are busy. So they want to connect with you, but it's tricky. So if you could offer them something first, then the door gets wide open. Instead of you saying, do you want to meet for coffee? Can I have some of your time? Da, da, da. I'd like to do an informational interview, or ask you advice on something. That one usually works, but if the person is totally swamped, and then I come up with something, guess what? I have this space that is available for you. Can we talk and find out what your needs are? Like, if you offer something to the table on your expertise, then it gets their brain going and sparks something new. Recently, somebody from the from the Libero Theater, we were touching base on something that was outdated. I had some old information that I reached out to. But then she said, but you know what? Let's reconnect on the current issues. Here's what we are doing now. So it's always beneficial to just network. Meet as many people as you can. Go to as many community meetings as you can. Everything from Rotary Club to, Chamber Congress meetings to community issues. That way you're meeting the people in the town that's in your field. And that way you're because, oh, I saw you at this meeting. I didn't have a chance to talk to you. Da, da, da. That's me. So networking to me is the huge thing. And again, in this world of technology, people need to connect in different ways, and it's much easier. Oh, what's your Instagram? Can I text you? Or, it's less imposing than the old days when you only had 8 hours in your work day and you got to wait for someone to call you back, kind of thing. So that's like the basic is networking.
For sure. And it's so interesting that you say, just get on the horn. Well, that's so kind of obvious, but it's like people don't do it.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder, yeah, well, obviously people are busy. That's another thing. You get focused in your own nonprofit, you get focused in your own corporate environment, and you only have 8 hours a day. So it is, you have good intentions, but if you can carve out that, time, it makes, huge
I so love that you mentioned to offer them something, because you are asking for their, advice or time. So offering them whatever you can offer is very smart, very smart.
Even if it's volunteering, oh, I see you're running a cancer fundraiser. I have a couple hours. Is there any way? How can I help? And they would be like, wait, what? So anything. It could just be a person showing up. It's not always about buying that high ticket fundraiser ticket. That I wish I can go to that, but I just be a volunteer. See, how can I help? There's lots of ways.
Awesome. Well, we have just a couple more minutes. Is there anything else that you would like to share? And also, how can people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah. Again, I just think it's all about reaching out, crossing boundaries, thinking out of the box is another one. Who would have thought that 5 years ago we would be this involved with the science community? You need to step outside, and even if you're, like you mentioned earlier, a politician or a corporate person, you just, they might not think of reaching out to the art community. So maybe their campaign background or their whatever you're doing needs an artist to be involved. You got to reach out and cross over in all directions. So that's a reason that networking is so huge. What can you contribute? What can you offer? And just shared resources, shared time, shared space, a lot of people, 3 dance companies in one town, that means there's 3 bookkeepers and 3 online web people, and it gets very expensive. Maybe they can collaborate and only have 1 bookkeeper for all 3 organizations. That's another resource sharing. So yeah,
that's becoming so much more common, and I think that's such a really valuable contribution, because that helps that 1 bookkeeper to have 3 or more solid jobs, and it helps those organizations as well. So it's so true.
Yeah. So again, just reaching, out beyond the box, and people can reach out to me via email, via text, via Instagram. I'm pretty wide out there. So
Beautiful.
Will you have a listing of that, or?
Yeah, and also if you have a little bit of time when this goes up, you can do it. Some people can maybe comment in the group, and you could answer any questions there, and I can get you any of them that you aren't able to access in there. But of course, you're welcome to be part of the whole group as well, and connect with everybody. And since you seem to be the master networker, I think you'd find a lot of good resources in there.
I have to put my money where my mouth is. But I am very curious, because again, there's a lot of ways, to connect. So I'm looking forward to meeting everyone in the group.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much, Jana. Nice to connect with you. This has been really fun.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.